Despite doing 7 figures per year, in 2023, I fell out of love with my business. And I spent a whole year really redesigning, experimenting, and optimizing so that I had a clear plan to tackle the upcoming year super strong so that I can have a really high profitable income, spend more time mountain biking, spending more time with my family, and really helping more clients than we've helped in the last few years combined. Here's my plan and 6 lessons that I'm going to share with you to help you if you feel like you're wanting to and or even needing to reinvent yourself and your business. Now, if you're new here, my name is Greg Hickman, and I've been running my own training and consulting business since 2017. And since 2020, we've done 7 figures per year, helping hundreds of other agency owners and service providers build a more profitable, more productized business. But in 2023, something felt off. And I hit the point where I was falling out of love with my business. I wasn't having as much fun, and it felt like I was building someone else's dream business. So in this video, to help you avoid the mistakes that I've made and get more clarity for yourself, make sure you're building your own dream business. So I've broken up this video into 6 key parts. First is the wake-up call, kind of what led me to realizing something needed to change. Part 2 is the first steps. How did I go from that into taking action? Part 3 is the year of experiments, so the experiment year. Part 4 is the new plan. Part 5 is the life first approach, how we're going to do it while still having fun. And part 6 is the early wins and validation that we've already seen from the changes that we've made so that we know we're on the right path. The wake-up call. Late spring, early summer of 2023, I hit the point where I was just really starting to feel disconnected from the business. It didn't feel like my business. And I realized that all that time I had been really following other people's playbooks and really kind of building someone else's business because of what I felt like I needed to be building from what I saw others building. So you see, all these other gurus or people online, it looks like it's super successful on the outside, so much so that you think that that's what you want. And so you execute on it. And I'm pretty good at executing. So it worked and we kept building and I got good advice and I hired coaches and mentors and I just ran the playbooks. I ran the plan. And again, we hit the goal. It all worked, but I realized I was building someone else's business. And as we were doing so, we were hitting the point in the year where I think a lot of businesses, specifically agencies and service-based businesses, started to see a slowdown after tremendous growth that came out of the pandemic. I think everybody was winning in 2020, 21, and 22. And a lot of people started feeling things slow down in late 22 in 2023, like we did. But part of that was I didn't really know where I wanted to take the business because I wasn't having as much fun. So I didn't spend time on vision. Again, really just felt like we were hitting these financial targets just to cover the expenses. The margins were tight. There's a lot of stress on top of me not really enjoying what we were doing. And part of that is we never slowed down to really optimize when we crossed the 7-figure mark. And this is lesson 0, if you will, is in my experience, when businesses cross $1 million annually, you actually should pause for a minute and make sure that your delivery experience is good, what you're building is what you want before you really kind of try to keep scaling, keep growing revenue. And we didn't. We just blew right past that. And so my key realization, which really the first lesson is scaling for scaling's sake was the wrong move. And I see a lot of people running into this trap right now. So the first lesson is the expert trap. Just because someone else's business model works for them, it looks great on the outside, doesn't mean it will work for you and or you're going to enjoy it. So I've found that I'm more of the trainer, the teacher, and I really enjoy creating digital products and creating curriculum. And I didn't want to manage a sales team. I didn't want to have a huge team. And so the playbook that everyone was teaching was keep spending more on ads and get more salespeople. And I was then forced to spend a lot of my time on the things that didn't bring me joy. And I honestly didn't want to become the person that would spend time on that. I was always sort of a creative and I'll even say like an artist at heart. And I took myself out of the things that I really love doing. So again, lesson number 1, build something that is what you want, not just because someone else is doing it. So success without joy and fulfillment, I believe, is the ultimate failure in business. Part 2 is the first steps. So late spring, early summer, I realized all of this. I probably should have acted on some of this about a year earlier. But what I did was I had conversations with my team, which I loved all of the people on my team, and they took it really, really well. We downsized. We let let go of sales team, we let go of a media buyer, we let go of a copywriter. Instantaneously, we were more profitable. And so, it was kind of counterintuitive. It's like, well, we're going to make less money because we're spending less on ads. I don't have people writing copy for me. More work is going to fall on my plate. So everything's going to slow down. But we had built up a really solid client base. We had a lot of recurring revenue. What ended up happening was profit margins went up. And so there's something magical about being lean. And I don't mean be small just to play small. Like, you can play big and have a lean and mean team. I think you can be really, really profitable, and sometimes smaller is better. And in the season that we were entering, which was the redefinition, the reimagination, the experiment year that I'm going to talk about here in a minute, I needed to have enough wiggle room where I didn't feel stressed out that I wasn't going to be able to make payroll or pay these people. And our marketing engine was always working just well enough to justify not turning it off. And so I'd go to try to focus on, the future of the business, but then I'd get sucked back in to needing to work on this engine, because if the engine wasn't working, I couldn't pay the sales team, I couldn't fill their calendar. And it kind of became this like vicious cycle that kept me out of working on the things that I knew I needed to work on in order to take the business in a new direction. What I learned here is that being profitably small is like a superpower. So lesson number 2 is the profit paradox. Sometimes getting smaller is the fastest path to higher profits. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash flow is reality. One of my mentors calls it slingshot success. Just like a slingshot, you pull it back, and in order to launch really, really far forward, you do have to go backwards for a little bit. This happens for us. And honestly, I see this happen with a lot of the agency owners that we coach. You have to temporarily maybe take a loss in revenue and or even, downsize your team in order to slingshot yourself forward to where you want to be. Many people just are not willing to do it, and they keep going that way, and they keep going with that tension, that little room for error, and it's super stressful and people burn out. And for me, I knew that we were going to hit a point where revenue was going to go backwards. We weren't going to sell as much, but because we offloaded some of the team, we started spending less and optimized our expenses, we actually increased a lot of our profits, giving us the confidence and the wiggle room and the space to be creative and innovate and redesign and reimagine the business for what we actually wanted. Which brings us to the experiment year, which was basically this year. If you're watching this right now, we're at the end of 2024. And I've spent all of this year really kind of testing different things, rejigging our business, how we delivered, how we served. And so trying new offers, testing new angles, really dialing in our organic content. And so some things that we've done is, because we scaled back on paid media like Facebook ads and Instagram ads and stuff like that, we went from spending $60K a month at ads at our peak down to 2 really during 2024, most of it. We're back up spending a little bit, about $5-10K a month over the last few months. But for most of the year, we were spending $2,000 to $4,000 a month on ads to keep some flow going, which allowed us to spend more time on optimizing organic, specifically this YouTube channel. These videos drive us a ton of business opportunity each and every month. Call bookings from the links in the description, to people consuming our videos, then heading to our free community, which I've linked up in the description, to just following more and more of our content, getting onto our email list, etc. And so I'd say almost 100% of our sales calls, people are mentioning that they either found us on YouTube, or after watching a bunch of YouTube videos, that's what led them to finally booking a call to do business with us. I have a whole bunch of more videos coming on the YouTube client machine that we've built for ourselves, and now we help our clients build. But really dialing in how we funnel these YouTube videos to speak to our ideal clients and bring them into our world to make selling a lot easier was a big part of our experiment. We also introduced more low ticket offers. Up until this point, we only sold things that were really like $7,000 to $25,000 a year, and we had nothing that was lower ticket. What I wanted to do this year was lean into having more affordable offers with the intention of speaking to our ideal clients, but giving them a way to kind of take a test drive or sample what we were doing. So we launched a series of $100 workshops where we held a 2-hour workshop. We brought in 20 to 30 people. We delivered tons of value, and we invited them to take the next step. That worked really, really well to give buyers a taste of what it was like to actually work with us, what our curriculum was like, what our style was like. And each and every time we've done it, we've had a good percentage of people that bought the workshop become clients for our $5,000 and $20,000 a year programs. So it's worked really, really well. It's a low risk way for people to get value, but also get to experience us. We've also unbundled and are continuing to unbundle a bunch of our curriculum. Since 2017, we've created tons of amazing playbooks on how to generate leads, how to productize your service, how to have a systemized sales experience, how to hire and delegate, how to drive leads through YouTube, how to build webinar funnels, all these playbooks that have been only available to our premium paying clients at $5,000 to $25,000 a year haven't been available. So we've slowly started unbundling key training for a few $100s. There's a range from $50 for some templates to a few $100s for things like our CEO productivity system, which is how I optimize my week every single week so that I can have 3 to 4 day work weeks and still get plenty of stuff done. Our magnetic messaging blueprint, which is like how we think about offers and positioning. And we've unbundled these things. And even just by putting them on our website, people are buying them. I can send emails and point people to these digital products and they're buying them. And that is one, servicing people that were never or are not anytime soon going to be ready for our high level programs or our premium programs, but also giving those folks an experience and a taste for what it's like to work with us. And it's led to a lot of people upgrading and saying, hey, I want to work with you in the next few months, or hey, I'm ready now. And it's turned into a whole new way of doing business. Instead of just generating leads, we're actually generating customers. And like I said, we spent a lot of time this year really focused on our organic content engine, experimenting with LinkedIn, experimenting with Twitter, Instagram. What are the few platforms that we want to be on? And how do we use these YouTube videos as the core hub for all of it? Because I love YouTube. I'm a consumer of YouTube. It's the channel that I want to be on and spend most of my time on. And it's also, these videos do a phenomenal job of helping people want to end up working with us. 9 times out of 10, someone gets on a sales call with us or they reach out to us via email and say, hey, been binge watching your content for the last 6 months. How do I work with you? That's what we've been experimenting with this year. So this year has shown me that we've been creating an ecosystem that has allowed for daily sales that don't always require sales calls, which mean I don't need a huge sales team because we can sell things that don't require a person to sell. So the lesson here is what I'm calling the innovation imperative. Don't be afraid to experiment with your business model. The best way to predict the future is to create it through controlled experiments. If you're in that stage where you feel like you need to reimagine yourself, just understand that there's going to be a period of time, and maybe it doesn't need to be a year like it was for me, but if you want to do it right, I think you're going to spend at least 90 days to 6 months experimenting with a few things to figure out exactly what you want to double down on and start that slingshot to success. So the next piece is the new year plan, right? What's the plan we're going to take into the new year? So for the upcoming year, we're going to target 1.5 million, which I think is conservative based off of where we've been and now the foundation that we've been building over the experimentation year. But I want to do so with $750K in profit with a 3 to 4 day work week most weeks. So here's how we're going to do that. I'm going to talk through. We have a framework that we have been following called clients, members, and customers. It's the 3 different types of buyers. And we want to have offers that are available to each of those buyer types. Our content and even our paid ads are going to create an ecosystem where people are coming to each of those offers every single day. There's opportunities to make money every single day. So instead of just selling when I can get someone on a sales call, I want to have sales happening because our content is driving to some of our customer related offers. We have people upgrading into our membership, our premium program called The Collective. And so here's what that looks like. We have customers, we have members, and we have clients. These are the 3 different types of buyers. Now, like I said, we started off always having really high level programs. And so we only had revenue coming in from people that were spending, $5,000 to $25,000 a year. But at the core of even the clients that we were serving, it was rooted in a curriculum. We have a series of playbooks, like I mentioned earlier, that we send our clients through based on where they're at in their business and what their goal is. They might need to productize their service. They might need to go hire and delegate. They might need to systematize their sales system. They might need to launch paid ads. We have playbooks and templates and scripts for a lot of these things that's inside of our training curriculum. Now, on top of that, we have a community, which consists of a bunch of other agency owners that are on this similar path, and my team, where we're kind of available through community, asynchronous support, and group coaching. And then at the highest level, we have some one-on-one touch points. So what we've realized is that we actually have one program, which is called the Collective, and that is where all of the curriculum lives. And what we have down here at the customer level is we're just unbundling pieces of the Collective into little mini products. So we have products that do different things, the CEO productivity system. We have, magnetic message framework, and we're going to keep rolling out different things. The YouTube client machine. You'll be able to buy a lot of our premium training as a one-off, as a DIY digital product where you can go through it yourself. And they'll be at varying price points. But all of those things will actually lead back to, well, hey, you can spend, a few $100s on this one-off training, or you can spend a little bit more each and every month and have access to the Collective, which is access to all of our playbooks and even support from Greg and the team. Okay? But even at the Collective level, so here, the member level, this is still very much a done with you. So there is asynchronous support, there's a community, we use School, and we have a series of calls that are available each and every week and ways to help our clients move through the curriculum and the playbooks as they're executing. And so this has become kind of our premium program that if you want access to all of our playbooks and some guidance and support and mentorship through it, the Collective is the place to be. But I can go unbundle any piece that I want and sell different pieces of it to acquire customers. I can deliver some of these things as live workshops like we've been doing. And so for customers, we have products and we have workshops and even templates. These are things that we can sell throughout the year through email campaigns, automation that allow people to get a taste for what it is like to work with us, our curriculum, how we train, how we coach. And again, some of them, a percentage of them, will want to get more help and get access to everything, and they'll join the Collective. And then there's going to be people in the Collective that are like, hey, I want more one-on-one support, right? And so the one-on-one support is what we call the Trailblazer level. And so it's still access to the same curriculum. So let me highlight Collective is still here. Like this is all the Collective, right? And actually the community is here too. That's the community. And so we're stacking the same community, right? But then we're adding one-on-one touch points. So at the one-on-one touch points, we have, one-on-one syncs, we have retreats, we have quarterly planning. We have, private channels on Telegram for higher level fast access, right? As you can see, there's kind of like we're stacking everything on top of each other. One series of playbooks. There's different ways to access them based on where you're at and how much support you need. And so that is really what we're focused on from an offer perspective moving forward. So we have multiple price points. We have ways that our ideal buyers can get involved at a level that makes sense for where they're at in their journey. And our content that we create, content like this, is always going to point people back to one of those things, one of those key areas that will allow us to drive leads and sales of one of those products and or programs every single day. So lesson 4 is this concept of the freedom framework. Design your business model around your ideal life first and develop the income streams and the systems to support the buying behavior that you need to support that lifestyle. So time freedom requires the right business architecture, the right model for you. I don't want to be on tons of sales calls. I don't want a ton of team just for them to be on sales calls. We want a combination of sales calls with, high caliber people that want to be in our high level programs, but also ways for people to buy whenever they want to buy without having to jump through tons of hurdles. Because guess what? I like buying products and going to workshops, and I don't need to be on a sales call to sell every single thing that we offer. Watching this happen over the last year has really allowed us to get close to making sales every single day, but that's a goal for 2025 and beyond. This brings us to part 5, which is like that lifestyle integration. I don't take calls on Mondays. I don't take calls on Fridays. Wednesday afternoon, I take off early and I go mountain biking. I take my kids to and from school every single day. I design when I support my clients and when I do the activities that I want to do, content and all that stuff, I create time for it in the time that's left available. I'm truly building my business around my life, not my life around my business. So the lesson here is live that life first principle. Your business should enhance your life. It should not consume it. I'm here to create a non-negotiable boundaries for the activities that make a life worth living. My business is designed to create quality products that help people, that drive high profit, and that are extremely fun. And if my business is not doing those three things, then I know something is off. And I'm not willing to compromise my schedule or what I put my energy towards just for more money. So time, energy, money comes third. I see a lot of people that will sacrifice their schedule, their health, just to make a little bit more money. And I've designed the boundaries, and a lot of our clients have designed the boundaries to still make a ton of money, but with the right boundaries. And that clients, members, customers model and designing that life first model also and scheduling really allows you to do that. Part 6 is really like so far, like we've already started implementing a lot of this stuff. There's some early wins in validation. We've been selling more stuff with fewer sales calls. We've been hitting similar sales targets with fewer leads and fewer sales calls because we're now acquiring customers. We have multiple ways to generate income, not just we only make money if someone can get on a sales call. The workshop and the product sales from pages and email promotions have started to work, and the percentage of people that buy those and upgrade is growing. We've launched a community called the Alt Agency Basecamp. That is a free school group. I'll link it in the description below, where agencies that want to monetize their expertise by creating digital products, training, consulting, not just scale for scale's sake. This is our crew. It's where we're hanging out. So if that's you, be sure to hop in that community. There's tons of free training. And that group has already turned into people looking for a better way, asking about the collective. People are already buying our digital products from the school community. So we're creating that ecosystem, right? Lesson 6 in these early wins and validation is the law of leverage. Build systems that sell while you sleep. Now, I'm not saying that this is passive income. Your passive income is somebody else's active income. I think that is kind of a little bit of a farce. You have to put input in, right, into your systems so that sales can happen when you're not working. If I'm not creating these videos, if I'm not putting new content into our engine, the sales will eventually slow down. The calls that we do get will eventually slow down. The law of leverage is, how do you find the few key things? For me, it's the YouTube video, it's our free community, and using that one YouTube video to create emails and all that stuff that create people coming into our world, sampling our free stuff, jumping into our low ticket stuff, and the people that want high touch, high support, and want to move really, really fast, they just hop right into our higher level programs. Now we're starting to see trends and routines around what makes those sorts of actions happen, and we're doubling down on that in the new year. So the ultimate business model, I believe, it creates value for others even when you're not working. And if you're an agency owner or a service provider and you've been in this game for a while, you have a ton of expertise that can feed into this exact same model so that you can work less and make more, but really more importantly, live a life on your own terms. So if you're interested in learning more about building a business that serves your life instead of consuming it, check out our free community in the description below. And if you're wanting to chat with our team about how to accelerate and move a lot faster, go ahead and book a call with our team in the description below, and we can see and explore if it would be a good fit. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about the alt agency model, go ahead and check out this video.